Welcome to another episode of Spirit Rising. Have you ever dropped the ball on a great opportunity? Well, listen in while Sharyn talks about recognizing opportunities in all parts of your life and taking advantage of them. She includes 3 affirmations at the end for you to use to enhance your opportunities. So let's get started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back again to Spirit Rising with Psychic Sharyn Rose. Today, I want to talk to you about opportunity. You know, we're always presented with opportunity, but a lot of people don't see it. Let's just talk about opportunity. What is it? What is an opportunity? Say, what's an opportunity of a lifetime? It's a special chance or something exceptional that is given to you, that is coming your way, that is being presented to you. And you look at it and go, oh my God, what an opportunity. You know, I can remember when I was young and I remember going for a drive with my dad. I don't know, I guess I was in my teens. And land was changing, prices had changed quite a bit by that point in time from when I was a little girl. And he showed me a piece of land that was worth a lot of money, and it had been bought by a rancher, and it was really well established and whatnot. And he said to me, he says, you know, when I first moved here, he says, I could have bought that piece of land for literally pennies. But he said, I didn't jump on the opportunity because I didn't know what it meant. And that's one of the things about opportunity, isn't it? We have to know what it means. We have to know, what does an opportunity mean? So, for example, when you have the opportunity or you're questioning something in your life and you all of a sudden something comes up and it's out of the blue, like a class, a workshop. And I'm talking about spiritual development here primarily. Something shows up. For example, I'll give you a good one. When I was starting to study a lot of spiritual work, I didn't really have a lot of good teachers because I was sort of in my little town here in central Alberta. And I really wasn't exposed to a lot of good teachers except for what was online, et cetera. And even then it was minimal because we're talking many years ago. There was no cell phones. There was none of that kind of stuff. And I remember one of my clients who was actually a massage client came to me and we were doing a session and she's, by the way, did you hear that there's a Buddhist monk coming to town? And I went, what? A Buddhist monk? To do what? And she said, he's going to be here for about 4 months and he's going to teach workshops and they're going to have a little Buddhist center. And I went, oh my God. Oh my God. It was an opportunity for me, if I wanted it, to be able to go and study further with a teacher what I was really, really, really interested in at that point in time. And it took a little bit of courage because an opportunity often will show up and you really don't feel too brave about it. Like you feel a little bit sort of nervous, like, oh my God, it's such a great opportunity, but I'm so scared. Now, I don't know if I can do this, but I did. I found out where they were meeting, where they'd set up. I waited. He was here, I think, for a month or so before I actually joined the group. But I went to where they were practicing the Buddhist faith. And they had set up a little temple at the top, believe it or not, on top of a diner. It was one of those, a diner would have been a little house up top, and they set it up there. And it had an altar and he was teaching classes out of there. And he was sponsored by a group in this little town that were really interested in Buddhism. And somehow somebody met up with him and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I ended up meeting him. And I ended up working with him. And through that, I was able to actually, because of the opportunity and taking advantage of it, I was able to reach into myself and my soul and really solve a lot of the issues I was having around familial stuff that had been around my whole life, family, different issues that had come up and things that were going on. And it was just amazing, but it also allowed me to crack open the nut of spirituality and be able to take a look at different kinds of spirituality. I'd never been exposed to Buddhism before. And I'll never forget, this opportunity taught me humility. Now, let me explain to you what I mean by that. I think I was humble before that, but this was humility in a more spiritual way. Or let's get past my ego kind of moment. I would come into the temple or to the room where the altar was, ready for the class. And we're all sort of sitting in a horseshoe shape around the class. And the monk is sitting right in front of the altar and facing us. And everybody comes in, they take their shoes off. Great. I had no problem. Take my shoes off. And then they stand and they face the altar. And then they bow down and get on their knees and stand up. And they do that 3 times. And they put their hands in prayer position in front of their faces. And they bow to the altar. But they prostrate more or less, not straight out, but touch their head to the floor. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. No, I can't do that. No. And I finally did do that. And it was one of the most wonderful experiences I ever had because something inside of me broke wide open and I felt so at peace. I felt so joyful and I felt so in touch with my soul self instead of in my ego because I had been too proud to do that. I didn't think that people should do that. Now I have no judgment, and I because I took advantage of the opportunity of studying with a group of spiritual practitioners that I knew nothing about their practice, nothing about their studies, but I wanted to learn more about spirituality. And it was a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Another thing that my dad did, and we're talking back in the 50s, was he took advantage of the opportunity to invest in penny stocks, which over the years made him some pretty good coin. Dad was in a little tiny town, kind of isolated way up in northern BC, and we're talking the 50s and 60s here. There's really newspapers and there's the phones. We were one of the first in town to have a phone. So, but the newspapers and the radio were pretty much how you heard about things like penny stocks. And I remember him perusing the pages and going over the penny stocks and getting excited because they went up or this one went down and investing in penny stocks. I don't know a lot about penny stocks, but it kind of brings me right to current now, where I'm looking at my husband who comes home all excited because he's talked to one of the guys at work, and he says, "We got to take advantage of this thing with this Bitcoin," and he's got us into this one little program where he hasn't invested any money, but apparently we own some Bitcoin or we own some cyber currency. I don't even know a lot about it. I let him do it, but he's excited about it. He's reading about it. He's studying it. But it's an opportunity for him to learn something. Maybe he's taking advantage of an opportunity that's going to bite him in the butt, or maybe he's taking advantage of an opportunity that is going to reward him greatly. But that's the thing about an opportunity. You don't always know exactly what is going to come of it. You never, ever are sure. And so how do you recognize a good opportunity? And what is a personal opportunity? Well, a good opportunity is something that will bring you a great deal of satisfaction. You can look at it and say, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of that because I think that's a good opportunity. Existing marketplaces, if you're setting up a business, let's say, like for example, when I became this opportunity to become a psychic medium here in my location, I almost moved from this town because I thought there's no way I'll get enough business here. I'm in the Bible Belt of Alberta. And because of my husband, I stayed because of his work. And so I just hunkered down and I started building my business. And lo and behold, I took advantage of the opportunity to build a good, solid spiritual business as a psychic life coach and medium. And my clients came from all over Alberta, then all of a sudden all over Western Canada, then all of Canada, then all over the world. And I've been able to grow through having taken advantage of the opportunity to open up my business. And I think that what has to happen is you have to really do your research. You have to do your homework. So an opportunity comes along, you're not just going to jump in. Our house is another good example. I had a certain idea of what kind of home I wanted because I needed to run my business out of my home. I wanted it to be comfortable. I wanted it to be long-term. And I wanted it to be not a lot of maintenance. I wanted something that was going to be a little stylish, but also something that we're going to be working on all the time. I mean, we've done a lot of work on this house, but still, that's maintenance work. It's like we painted it, and et cetera, et cetera. However, I really enjoyed that when we found this house, opportunities came up for me in various different houses, but they just didn't ring my bell until the opportunity to see this house, which was being taken off the market the next day when we inquired with our realtor about it. And then I discovered that it was on a street that was named after my very favorite uncle. It wasn't named after him, but it's the same name. And then I realized that when we walked in, that the person that was selling the house was involved in holistic health. And then when I went downstairs and saw the water wall, I realized the house had been stylized and built around spirituality because it was feng shui, I realized that taking advantage of the opportunity and the timing to get this house when we did was essential. And within about 3 weeks, we had everything signed, sealed, and delivered, and we were moving into the house. Well, we were painting the interior first, but still, we took advantage of the opportunity. This is a man who was motivated to sell. He was motivated because his wife was ill. He was motivated because he had a trip planned. It was September. It was August. He needed to be out. We took possession in September, and he ended up going to Mexico in October. So he had some urgency with this sale, and he was concerned about his wife. He had to take care of her somehow and get her out of this particular property. So an opportunity presented itself, an opportunity. When we met our realtor, it was so fun. We decided to go and see this little condo because we were thinking, oh, condo living, condo or a little half duplex or something like that. So we were over in a new area of our town, and we didn't really like the property we went and saw. So we were just wandering around, and there was an open house on the corner, and we went in. I didn't like the property at all, and my husband didn't mind it, but I didn't like it. But we really liked the realtor that was holding the open house. And he was the realtor that came to work for us. He was the one that brought us up into this area. He's the one that put the deal together on this house. It was an opportunity. We stopped in to see the house. Opportunities. So you can discover opportunities or you can create them yourself. So social trends, you can recognize them through social trends, opportunities. In my particular case with my business, I was able to recognize the need for someone to set up a business in my industry in this area. And for my husband, he's recognizing the social trend of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and he's having fun with that. He's playing with that and looking at it as a possibility for investment. Economics will play a role in it too, and technological. How many people took advantage of the opportunity to serve the communities that were setting up home-based businesses? We've just come through the pandemic, and there's a lot of people that went to work at home because they couldn't go to their offices anymore, and they actually ended up staying working at home, and they've set up their businesses, and they've took advantage of the opportunity to get reconnected with family, the opportunity to learn how to cook again, the opportunity to get comfortable and get out of high heels. Yay, girls, go girls. The opportunities that were presented to us through negativity. Now, I've been talking about the positive upside of opportunities. What about the negative opportunities? What about the negative things, the opportunities? Sometimes bad things happen, and there's an opportunity that's presented through that bad thing for you to learn a little more about yourself, a little more about your community, your situation, or whatever it is that you're exploring. So we have our personal opportunities to learn and to grow and to improve ourselves, and those opportunities are endless. However, again, opportunities, we don't always learn through easy. Humans are really weird. We have to have contrast, conflict, and challenge, and we like problem solving. And so sometimes our opportunities will show up as a threat or as something that we want to avoid. And sometimes we have to sort of sit down and say, ooh, I'm a little scared of that. Do I really want to go there? And when we're making a conscious decision, the opportunities that come through negativity on a personal level tend to happen. They just happen. And then you look back and you go, wow, I had the opportunity to get to know my neighbor really well there and learn to be more tolerant and less judgmental. But instead, I just listed my house and moved. Do you hear what I'm saying? So sometimes through harassment, through negativity, through just issues that keep coming up, opportunities are so important for us to be able to grab onto. And opportunity and synchronicity are tied in. Something will happen, and all of a sudden you'll be going down the road in a certain way towards a certain goal. And then something else will happen to fall in line with that. And you go, oh, wow, look at that. That falls right perfectly in line with what I'm doing today and what I'm seeking out, what I'm looking for. I had no idea. I'll give you an example. I was looking for a new mentor, and I was looking for a business mentor, somebody that could work with me in a writing project, help me, give me some guidance. And all of a sudden, a name popped up, and it was a name of a mentor that I had known 50 years ago. 50 years ago, a man who was a mentor in Canada, a public speaker, a writer. He at that time wasn't a writer. He was just, well, maybe he was, but he wasn't published, but he was doing a lot of workshops and seminars and motivational stuff. And he was brilliant. He was really good. He kept on going. He's in his 80s now. And I absolutely adored him then. And all of a sudden, I got an email from his company. Well, I'm looking for this person to help mentor me through the writing process. Now, this man, since I knew him 50 years ago, has written numerous books. I took advantage of the opportunity that presented itself through his email to join his little writing group. And I have learned so much about fear of writing, about avoiding writing, about the things that I have stopped me, the reasons why I've chosen not to really be an active writer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But because of him, I found myself becoming more engaged as a writer because I took advantage of the opportunity of taking advantage of that email. Now, the synchronicity of that is since running into him and taking his little course, there's another gal that popped up that I absolutely love. Her name is Gabby Bernstein. And if you get a chance to take any of her courses, read any of her books, Gabby Bernstein is the real deal. She is adorable. And I started studying her work. As I would do workouts, I would listen to her audios, and I just really enjoyed her and I learned more. And through that, the synchronicity. So you see, looking for an opportunity to find a new teacher, leaving that door open. Is opportunity a spiritual experience? You bet it is. Because if you're closed off and you're all in your ego and you're not willing to accept help, guidance, or knowledge from anybody or anything outside of you, opportunities will go right by you and you will never see them. People will present something to you and you'll be like, no, I'm good over here. No, I'm good over here. An opportunity to try a new food is, there's a lot of people that will say, no, I just like bananas. Thank you. I'm not going to try the mango. I don't think I would like mangoes. So the opportunity to taste a mango is gone. They lost that opportunity. How many opportunities have you dropped the ball on? How many opportunities have come your way and you never took advantage of them? Take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you. Give yourself the chance to be able to learn something new, experience something new, and experience failure. Because I'll tell you what, when you experience failure, you're really not going to be as scared again of trying a new opportunity because you know it didn't kill you. You're still here. So maybe a special chance, opportunity of a lifetime, an exceptional possibility, opportunities of a lifetime. You may never have a chance like that again. To have a chance, a possibility. That's what an opportunity is. So I have picked some cards here for you, and I want you to really enjoy them. These are affirmation cards. These are from Cheryl Richardson's deck, My Daily Affirmation Cards. Love these cards. I picked 3. Use the one that is suitable to you. So you may want to pause this and grab a pen and paper, but you may really, really want to take advantage of one of these. So the first one is about health, and it says, my hormones are beautifully balanced. So girls, you want that one? Try that one. Here is the second one. The more I take care of myself, the more prosperous I am. So opportunities knock for those people that have their eyes wide open and that are willing to receive. You cannot be prosperous in love, health, money, friendships, job, any of that, unless you're willing to receive, and opportunities are part of that story. So the more I take care of myself, the more prosperous I am. And the last one is, my life is a constant stream of miracles. My life is a constant stream of miracles. 3 beautiful affirmations that you can use when you are trying to make your day a good one. No, not trying to make your day a good one, that you can use to make your day a good one, because you deserve a good day. Hey, thanks for listening. I'm glad you dropped in. This is Sharyn Rose. I'm going to sign off for now. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Spirit Rising with Psychic Sharyn Rose, formerly the Medium Well podcast. Still the same great podcast with the same great advice from Sharyn Rose. Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcast player, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcasts, and never miss an episode. All you have to do is follow on your favorite player, and you'll be able to catch a new episode of Spirit Rising with Psychic Sharyn Rose every Wednesday, released at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll talk to you next time.